In this video, let's learn about the CARICOM community, what it is, how did it come to be, and what does it mean for people in countries of the Caribbean. Let's get started. So CARICOM, C-A-R-I-C-O-M, or the Caribbean Community, is a regional intergovernmental organization that fosters economic integration, cooperation, and coordination among its member states. It's kind of like a club where Caribbean countries come together to play nice, share resources, and tackle common challenges. And it's also kind of like a freedom of movement zone where if you are a citizen of one country, you actually have the right to go live and reside and work in other countries in the Caribbean community. So it's almost kind of like a mini EU or a mini Mercosur or economic zone in that sense, okay? So let's imagine this scenario. You're in the Caribbean where each island has its own unique culture, history, and challenges, but they all share the sea, the Caribbean Sea. They have similar economic aspirations. They have a history of colonial past. And now, how do you ensure these islands can work together for mutual benefit? They're neighbors, right? So enter the CARICOM, formed in 1973 through the Treaty of Chaguaramas. You guys got to help me with that one. Chaguaramas. This treaty was signed by the leaders of Barbados, Guyana, Jamaica, and Trinidad and Tobago. Those four original countries, with the vision of creating a Caribbean community that would promote economic integration, coordinate foreign policy, and foster human and social development. The roots of CARICOM trace back even further to when the West Indies Federation in 1958, which was an earlier attempt at political union. And that's kind of the background there. But that didn't really work out, and the focus shifted towards economic cooperation with the establishment of the Caribbean Free Trade Association, called CARIFTA, in 1965. CARIFTA was about reducing trade barriers, kind of like NAFTA, among the English-speaking Caribbean countries. However, it was CARICOM that truly aimed for a more comprehensive form of integration, not just about trade, not just about economics. It's actually based on these four main pillars: economic integration, foreign policy coordination, human and social development, and security. This means it's not just about making money together, it's about living better lives together and allowing for more freedom of movement. For example, through CARICOM, member countries work on common health policies, education standards, and even disaster reporting strategies, given the region's vulnerability to hurricanes and other natural disasters. Now let's talk membership. CARICOM has 15 full members. We've gone from 4 to 15, including the Bahamas, Belize, Haiti, which joined later, bringing French-speaking and Dutch-speaking countries into the mix, and making CARICOM truly multilingual. There are also 5 associate states, which are mostly British overseas territories. This diversity adds to the complexity, but also the richness of CARICOM's identity. It also makes it stronger because the more countries that are part of this sort of freedom of movement zone, the more powerful and the more beneficial it becomes, and the more powerful it makes the passports of each country. Because this means if you, say, have a passport from St. Kitts, that you can then go work in Jamaica, for example. Or if you have a passport from Bahamas, you can then go work in Belize and vice versa. Okay? These are powerful aspects of a passport and the benefits that you can expect. So what does the CARICOM actually do besides the freedom of movement thing, which we'll come back to? Well, one of the key achievements is the establishment of the single market and economy, the CSME, single market and economy. The idea here is to create a single seamless economic space where goods, services, capital, and even people can move freely. So think of it as like a regional version of the European Union single market. This includes the harmonization of tariffs, laws, and regulations, aiming to make the Caribbean more competitive on a global scale. However, implementing the common market area has been a bit like sailing through stormy waters. Each country has its own pace of integration, and there are still significant barriers to full economic unity, like differing national laws, transportation issues, and political will. Despite these, progress has been made. For example, CARICOM has facilitated the free trade or free movement of certain categories of skilled workers, which has helped economies like those in construction, nursing, and teaching. CARICOM also plays a role on the world stage, advocating for Caribbean interests in international forums, negotiating trade deals, and even addressing climate change, which severely impacts the region. The community has been vocal about the need for global support for small island developing states, emphasizing issues like rising sea levels and the loss of biodiversity. But it's not all smooth sailing. Critics argue that CARICOM sometimes lacks the teeth to enforce its decisions among member states, leading to slower progress than hoped. There's also debates about the benefits being unevenly distributed among member countries, with larger economies like Trinidad and Tobago sometimes seen as gaining more. In my mind, it's the smallest countries that gain the most, because you kind of have more territory and you go from living in a country with 50, 80,000 people, like some of these Caribbean countries are, to now you're part of a larger block with millions of people, more islands, more places to go. Still, CARICOM has made strides in areas like education, with the Caribbean Examinations Council, the CXC, in health, with the Caribbean Public Health Agency, the CARPA, CARPHA, and even in sports, fostering regional teams and events. There's also the Caribbean Court of Justice, the CCJ, which not only serves as an appellate court, but also interprets CARICOM treaties, aiming to create a body of community law. As we look to the future, CARICOM faces challenges like ensuring food safety, dealing with migration, and adapting to technological changes. Yet there's a persistent optimism, a belief in the power of unity, that this community can navigate these waters ahead. So what does CARICOM mean for you? If you're from the Caribbean, it's about identity, economic opportunities, and a shared voice in global affairs. If you're outside, it's a fascinating model of regional cooperation where small states come together to amplify their presence on the world stage. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the CARICOM community. If you found this exploration enlightening, give us a like, subscribe for more deep dives into global organizations and all things expat and passports. And don't forget to hit that notification bell for notifications as well. Until next time, keep exploring the world around us. And if you would like to work closely with MyLatinLife, if you want to become a client, there's a link in the description. You can book a call with us. We can look at your holistic situation, make an internationalization plan with you. And particularly if you're interested in CBI, citizenship by investment in the Caribbean, absolutely book a call with us and let's make it happen. Let's put that passport in your hands. See you in the next video.